Podcast.
Bum Podcast.
Between you and me.
Between you and me.
All right, so we're back again. After a short hiatus, we missed a week again.
Yeah, we did. Busy.
But I guess it was for a good cause. We were moving.
Yeah.
Well, T was moving. I wasn't moving. I was moving T.
I felt every part of that move.
You felt every part of it.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. I'm pretty sure I felt it twice as much as you did.
That's possible.
At least twice. Yeah, because I think I drove twice as much as you did. I can't hear you. What'd you say?
I guess you could kind of say twice.
Kinda?
Yeah.
You drove down once. I drove down 3 times.
You drove down 3 times?
And not only that, yeah, I drove down Friday. I drove down Saturday.
Oh,
and
well,
I drove down.
Yeah, you can say that. Whatever.
I guess
that is 3 times.
Yeah. I drove down and back 3 times. You drove down once.
Yeah, I drove once.
Yeah. So I did 6 times as much as you did. How about that? If we want to be politically correct. So anyway, so now we're trying our new format out. We're trying out our new format, which is a virtual bum podcast.
Yeah. And we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna let it rock out.
We're gonna see how it goes. Oh, it's interesting, man. I was on social media this morning on Facebook, man, and you wouldn't believe what came up.
What came up?
So it was sharing because Facebook has a way of sharing your like on the anniversary of stuff. And so like they shared what happened 3 years ago today. I posted a picture 3 years ago today, man. Huh?
What is today? The 17th? Was this pre-college?
It was pre-college.
Yeah.
It was the day I dropped you off at pre-college, man. It's funny. It was a picture of me and you standing up in front of.
It was in the at the hotel?
No, this was on campus.
Oh, for real?
It was okay. Yeah, it was on campus. Yeah.
In front of the hall?
And so,
or the dorm?
Yep.
Okay.
No, it wasn't in front of the dorm. It was in front of the stoop.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, in front of the stoop.
I remember that.
All right, cool. And so it was befitting that we do this today because who's gonna do it today, tomorrow, when, but it's fitting because it's this is our Father's Day edition. It's coming up on Father's Day, and I remember it was on Saturday, I think it was when I dropped you off because Father's Day was the following day,
right?
And you gave me that heartfelt card and all that kind of stuff. I started to bring that card and read it, but I might get choked up, so I didn't want to bring it out.
Whatever.
But anyway, so this is our Father's Day edition, and I think it's fitting because 3 years ago, today I imagine, since that's what came up on my Facebook line,
I was moving out.
I was launching you on campus. You're getting ready to start your collegiate career.
Yeah.
Things were a little different then, but I mean, nonetheless, you were starting your collegiate career. And I want to say, man, it's so funny. I want to say you almost pushed me and your mom off campus. Like, yeah, y'all can go now.
I had a lot going on.
Yeah, I bet you did have a lot going on. And none of it included us. So that was funny. But the interesting thing about it is now, just thinking back to the comment that you made last night. And again, you just moved to Hampton, moved into your first official apartment. So congratulations on that. And it's almost like you didn't want us to leave. And it's like, yeah,
That's funny.
That is funny.
I was being considerate.
Oh, is that what? Oh, you weren't being considerate the first time, but this time you're being considerate. Is that what it was?
I mean, the situation was a little different. It was late yesterday.
Oh no, come on, for real. It was
like,
late
you
yesterday.
had to stay and help me set up the lights and stuff. And so you had to drive, so I was like, maybe he wants to rest and leave as early as he can in the morning.
Okay, cool. All right. If that's your story, I'm gonna let you stick to it. How about that?
All right.
But it's just ironic that at this point we're launching you again for the second time, or you're launching yourself again for the second time. I don't know how you want to put it, because we talked. So we talked a lot about the Get Out date and how during the Get Out date, how you chose to leave early, right. And so we contended with you going to pre-college a couple of weeks after high school graduation and launching out on your own, seemingly for the first time and permanently. And then knowing that with COVID, you end up coming back home, and we spent about a little over a year, maybe a year, 3 months or something like that, back in the house together again. And even, because I think when you left, we had a good relationship. I mean, the card that you gave me, it portrayed that we had a good relationship. But I think after going out and being a prodigal son, that's what I'm gonna say, being a prodigal son, after going out and learning, I guess learning and testing. Loosely. Well, yeah, we'll use it loosely. But after going out and learning and testing all of the things that you were exposed to prior to leaving, and gaining your footing, then coming back in, and then us being able to reestablish our relationship, I think was a huge plus. And as a father, I couldn't ask for much more. I really couldn't. And even, I guess, again, even fitting knowing that this is Father's Day coming up this weekend, and it's our Father's Day edition. It's another good Father's Day gift to me, because the first time launching you was like, man, he's ready. And so as a father, that's like almost a sign of completion. And then now, again, rolling around 3 years later, Father's Day, and you're going out again, and this time you're set up in your own apartment. You know what I'm saying?
I have a question.
Got it.
Which may take us down another path. I don't know if you had something you want to go ahead and say.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask: was there any difference? Which you touched on it a little bit, but any difference between 3 years ago and this process of me launching, and now, today or yesterday?
Was there any difference? So, I guess one of the major differences was 3 years ago, we dropped you off on campus, right? And we knew that there was a support system that existed for you on campus. We had made some connections with some folks in the area, and it was on you to rely on yourself to kind of connect with those people and do what you needed to do. And I think this time, but I was comfortable leaving you. I was real comfortable leaving you, because I knew the preparation that had been put into place. I didn't know how you would respond to the moment, but again, I've never had a question about whether or not you'd be successful. It's always been about waiting for the bounce. You know what I'm saying? Because I said, you're always going. Everybody hits some form of rock bottom, and I know we had our differences on terminology in that, but everybody hits a rock bottom. Everybody's rock bottom is just not as deep. And I know we had prepared you for the bounce, and so in that regard, it's the same. The biggest difference, though, this time is you don't have that same support system that you had when I dropped you out the first time. But I'm equally as comfortable with leaving you, because what I know now is you've gone through a few iterations of CTB3. You know what I'm saying? And the time I spent with you this past year and months, I see the maturity. I see that you're a student of life. You study life, you study people, you study concepts. You're independent minded, which is a plus and a minus, because sometimes we, have those intellectual battles, but you're independent minded. So that means that you don't, you're not easily swayed. You don't let people, you're not going to be a part of the crowd, And so being able to see that in you makes me equally as comfortable leaving you there this time. Even though that same support system does not exist. And I'm comfortable. I was seriously like, I'm ready to go. Let me go. Because again, I'm excited. Honestly, I'm always excited about seeing your growth. And I realize that it's hard for anything to grow under a tree, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Moments like moments such as these are big growth moments.
Yeah.
Like moments where things really happen.
Yeah, right. And it was just like I called you today, and I was like, bro, how was it sleeping in your house for the first time by yourself? You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, it wasn't like I was trying to get away from you. It was like I was trying to give you the opportunity to grow. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna always be here, man. I told you a couple times last night, man. If you need anything, call me. I'm gonna always be here. But I also want to see you do it.
Right.
I want to see you do it. So, was it any different for you?
Was it any different? Probably. And almost in an almost intangible way. I mean, it's easy to talk about the difference between going on campus versus an apartment and what that all looks like, and even just the responsibilities are so much. There's so many more responsibilities. Like, I spent all this morning up until like 10 minutes, like 30 minutes before this, I ate breakfast. But I just spent the whole morning cleaning, moving stuff around, just making sure everything was straight and in a place where it can stay and I can go forth and focus on functioning from the day to day. And so just getting the space livable, I guess. And so that responsibility was definitely different. It definitely, I can feel that whole, I have to take care of myself and handle my business and that kind of thing, versus the on campus where it's still other people walking you through and that, and they're checking to make sure you're doing it, and it's more on me now. And so with that, I can definitely feel the difference in the responsibility. The other thing is, I could definitely feel like this intangible difference and this feeling, which I guess I could say is almost similar to when I launched into my freshman year, but feeling ready for it. And like it feeling like a testament to growth, that I could be doing something bigger and different and more in depth than I was before, and more responsibility than I had before, but not feel like I'm lacking or at the same place I was the first time that I launched, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference.
It's interesting because, I've always told you, it's funny. I've always told you, like, well, T, you're not going to be able to wake up one day and just do X, or wake up one day and just do Y. And it's funny because I honestly believe that. But the other thing about you is you don't articulate or verbalize where you are mentally a lot of times. You're going through these processes, but you're not letting other people know that you're going through these processes, which is a valuable thing to do in some cases and detrimental in others, but that's neither here nor there. But the interesting thing for me is, like, watching you say, all right, cut the air down, or watching you say, like, cut the lights off. You know what I'm saying? Right. And like, it's like, so when you were in our home, I mean, it was like us always saying it to you. And I'm always saying, well, T, I'm going to tell you, when you get in your own place, you're going to stop leaving lights on, or you're going to stop cutting the air down to 69, or you're going to stop taking 4-hour showers. You know what I'm saying? And thinking that it was going to be a ramping up or take time for you to adjust to that environment. But seeing that just being in there, that whole mentality shift in you, that was good to see. Because that's something else that helps me say, oh, yeah, oh, cool. Yeah, he ready. Because, or even just saying that you got up this morning and you spent the whole morning cleaning. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can come in your room sometime, and not that you were like a junky person, but I mean, you did keep water bottles everywhere. I ain't seen not one water bottle that you left anywhere when I was there, which is funny. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, that was just funny and refreshing to see, meaning, hey, yeah, he took it all in. And it's actually going to be kicking into gear now. So yeah, that was all good. That was all good.
And even just being in a new space, like, it feels like, I mean, I got up decently early and just started working on getting stuff straight, and it felt good to accomplish things. And like, it felt good for the problem solving, like the things that would seem random or boring, at least to me before. Like, oh, you don't believe how I got it to look like this cord wasn't there, or I got like just random stuff like that. That I guess it just showcases a new phase almost.
Right, and that's what manhood is all about, honestly. Because it's like at this point, like, it's all about you're going to value your accomplishments. You're going to value your accomplishments, and it's because you know that there was a task that needed to be done, and you stepped up and you did it.
Right.
And I think when that comes around, I mean, I think that really is the mark of, really growing into your manhood. Because when you got somebody else you can count on to tell you to do X, Y, Z, I mean, Dad, I'm having a problem running this wire. Can you come in here and run this wire for me or whatever? Not that you ever told me to do that with wires, but just like if you got somebody else that you can depend on to do it, you actually you tend to lean on them. But when you get to the point where man, look, hey, that's the problem and I can solve it. That's cool. That's cool. And even watching the way that you were able to kind of adapt to like the management staff there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or the way you can look at the kids that were running around and be like, man, this is so cool. It was just so many little things for me that just reinforced the fact that yes, he's ready. I think he's at the right place at the right time. I think it's about to go. I think it's about to go right now. And so as a father, I really appreciate that again. And one thing, and your mom and I talked about when we were driving home, is the level of appreciation that you showed for us and what we just did for you. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think we did anything that we didn't have to do. Well, we did some things we didn't have to do. You know what I'm saying? I still continue.
You didn't have to do any of it.
Well, you're right. But I still continue. Your mama spoiled you. Your mama spoiled you, and I didn't. I'm gonna say that. Your mama spoiled you, and I didn't. But I mean, just knowing that. I mean, for me, what I did and what I believe she did was self-serving, in the fact that that's the thing that helps us feel comfortable just leaving you there. You know what I'm saying? Like the other day, you made a joke about, man, don't leave out here with no food in the in the refrigerator. It's like, man, we wouldn't even thought of that. Because even though I know you got money and you can buy it yourself, us leaving food there lets us know you're not starving. Lets us know you're not going hungry. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's the important thing for me, is those little things that we did were all about what we can do to feel comfortable knowing that you are all right and you got a head start. We weren't able to as of yet, but if we were able, I don't know if I'd ever done it for you, but buy you your first house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or whatever. Like we ain't able to do that, but there are some things that we are able to do to make sure that you are well on your way. I mean, shoot, even your credit score. I mean, your credit score is a testament to your mother. You know, I mean, I remember we got our utility. We had to get co-signers for our utilities. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and so it's just those kinds of intangible things that happen that we did because, it made us feel comfortable.
Which even on that point that you're talking about, I guess harping on, I don't know, a parenting thing, but also a life thing, the importance of information and passing information.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like a lot of this stuff I was able to do not because of resources you gave me or things of that nature, but just because information that from like years ago that put me on the right path to set me up to do certain things. Like even just you're talking finances and knowing how to handle my finances and things to do with that. And so as you guys being my parents, I think that's huge that you were able to share information. It's really the information that's more important than the extra resources.
Right. Right.
And I think that's an important part of, even I had this conversation with mother, but just talking about kind of like what you were talking about, how you guys had to get co-signers on your utilities and things of that nature, and how like it's showcasing this progression of how you guys started versus where I started, and basically I was like, and cheers to the next generation starting off even better.
Right.
Basically. Right. But just because the ability not only to pass down resources but to pass on information.
And the key to that, I think, is we never were one. And I'll credit my father and my mother, and I'll say my father mainly because it's Father's Day, and my mother, though, with that whole mentality of, we're not gonna buy you everything you want, but we're gonna make sure you travel. You know what I'm saying? And so that was one of the seeds that they planted in my life and in the life of my siblings. And then now we're able to plant more seeds into your life. You know what I'm saying? And then now you're going to take that same type information and you're going to grow it. And then you're going to, you know, plant that seed in the life of your child. And that's important, especially because we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Remember the thing is saying, well, my granddad rode a camel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like making sure that even though we do have means, we don't just give you, but we teach you. You know what I'm saying? And not only teach you.
Information matters.
Right. Information matters. But not only teaching you and showing the information matters, but hold you accountable. You know what I'm saying? Because holding you accountable then makes you activate what it takes to use the information that you were given. Because there's another thing to just give you that information, but to continue to do things for you.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm good, man. I'm good. I mean, again, just like Father's Day 3 years ago, Father's Day this year is going to be a reason for me to smile. I mean, because honestly, look, you starting your senior year in college. And
it's crazy.
I mean, you know, I'm not going to say, you know, people don't graduate from college in 4 years, but I will tell you that the norm is it takes 6 years to get a 4-year degree. Research bears that out. Now, that's not everybody. So I know people might be listening and say, oh, no, I got mine in 4 years. Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of more people who don't. And so for you to be on track to graduate in 4 years, it's huge. You know what I'm saying? That's huge. And I'm appreciative of that. I'm appreciative of the network that you're beginning to build professionally. I'm appreciative of the work, even though, I mean, you know, you don't share your work as much, but even, you know, what you had to produce and deliver last night, you know, you're working in your profession.
I was going to say, I think even that's like a big thing with the process of me moving in, and y'all helping me move in and all that. And the night that y'all leaving, you leaving to me working, like doing things to continue to go down that path. And even working, especially working in what I enjoy doing, what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And it was funny because I was talking to Gil, my mentor today, and I was telling him, you know, he was talking about you, and well, did T get moved? I'm like, yeah, man. And I'm like, man, you know what? Except for the vocal booth, man, I think the studio you got right now
is better.
It's better than the one you had before. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's real talk. That's real talk. And so, yeah, man. I mean, I like your setup. I like your setup, and I think it's conducive to you putting out some good music and doing some good work. And so, again, as a father, man, shoot, Father's Day, yes, man, that's my gift. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy. Yeah.
It's crazy. Life's going good.
Yeah.
It's all about building up on, even just, it's funny because this whole, you talked about this idea of like growth moments. And when you come out of covering, it's like a growth moment. And this whole, how we've talked about multiple times on the podcast, but with the pandemic and everything being a moment of pause almost.
Right.
And so this is, I mean, I guess it would be interesting for both of us because this coming out of shelter moment almost felt like, for me, like I haven't been with myself every day.
Explain that.
And what I mean by that is how, like, you never really feel like you're with yourself every day, but I was home, I was with you guys, I was operating with you guys and things of that nature, and then I come out again and I felt this, for lack of better terms, because it sounds weird coming from yourself, level of maturity, level of, I felt secure in myself and my ability to handle the situation that I'm in, which I don't know if I would have felt that beforehand, like a year and a half ago. I don't know if I would have felt that same way. And so that moment, like that period of time where I was back home, I was with y'all, the pandemic and all of that, was almost like so much growth happened, but it was so like that kind of under the covering as far as in the house.
It was subtle.
Not really going a lot of places, not really dealing with a lot of things externally. And so it's almost like this huge sprouting moment just of being outside of the house, as far as not being with you guys, but even being outside of the house and in the world, working and doing things again in general, it feels like a growth moment.
Okay. Yeah. And as you were saying that, man, I'm gonna tell you something that really hit me. We had a conversation 2.5 years ago, maybe. I remember it was December 2019, and you were talking about your plan was, we were sitting in the hotel in Hampton Inn in the lobby, and you was talking about your plan was to get an apartment. You remember that?
I remember that.
All right. And just fast forward a year and a half later and look at, you're actually in a position to be in an apartment paid for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you weren't even in that position pre-COVID.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's astonishing to me. That really is astonishing to me. But again,
it's crazy how both, like you were saying beforehand, it would have been like struggle to reach a position. And now with this year past, I'm almost comfortably in the situation and able to focus on the future more so than struggling to stay within the present.
Yeah. That's man. That really hit me while you were talking, and even now it's even growing. You know what I'm saying? The thought's even growing, man. Like, oh my God. Because this is where you were trying to get a year and a half ago, but a year and a half ago you were running to this place.
Right.
And now it's not even that you ran to that place, you just transitioned to that place.
Right.
And transitioning to that place made it so much better. And you were talking about like a growth, but I was more envisioning a cake baking. You know what I'm saying? It was like the ingredients were always there. You know what I'm saying? They just hadn't gelled. They just hadn't come together to form a product. And
it's like you're waiting for the oven to open. Like the oven opens, the cake's baked type of thing.
Right. Yeah. And it was like, that's what you needed. It was like, before, you'd have been batter. You know what I'm saying? You'd have been batter and batter, B-A-D-D-E-R.
On it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so it just took a little while of slowing down, let the oven gradually heat up, let all the information, all the attitude, all of everything that makes up Clarence T. Brown III come together and gel, come together and solidify, and then present itself to the world. And I think that's what has happened. And again, I mean, as a father, I couldn't be prouder of that. Coming up on Father's Day, I'm gonna keep saying that. Yeah. Yeah.
Life is going pretty good right now. I'm excited about what the future holds and working to get there.
Say that one more time.
Oh, I was saying just I'm excited about the future and what the future holds, and working to get there, and working, keep on moving.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to belabor the point. I think it's go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to do the same thing you're doing.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. It's been the Bum Podcast.
Yeah. Father's Day edition.
Father's Day edition. So, we're gonna continue this format. We're gonna try to kick it live, but for now, man, thank you for what you've shown me, and thank you for allowing me to see your growth and allowing me to see your transition. It's a great Father's Day gift for me. I appreciate you, son, and I love you.
Yes, sir. Happy Father's Day. Love you too.
Thank you. So, Bum Podcast.
Between you and me.
Holla.